Wild barramundi are at the heart of so much of our northern sport fishing, and you can probably tell by the colour of our boat and our clothes that we're in the far north at the moment. We're in Cape York Peninsula. I'm with a good mate of mine, Nico. He's a guide, taking a few days off to loan us a boat and a bit of his advice. Today we're going to go through what makes the wild barramundi tick, where to find them, when they feed. We're also going to go through several of the different lure types that will work well on your barramundi and the retrieves and approaches you can use to catch a few, mate. It's just the end of the run-out tide, start of a beautiful day up north. We've got a bunch of lures, see if we can get some jumping.
The best places to find barra are concentration points, drains, ledges, snags, places where you find concentrations of bait and current. Key times to catch barra are around tide turns. I'm always fishing an hour either side of the top of the tide, but my favourite's fishing the last 2 hours of the run-out tide.
We've got a lot of great options on the market when you're chasing barra these days when it comes to your rods, reels and lines. 2 outfits will get you out of trouble in most cases, bait cast and a spin outfit. These 2 rods are both weighted in that PE 2 to 4 range, or approximately 6 to 10 kilos. They're matched up with suitable sized reels. In the case of the spin outfit, it's a 3,000 to 5,000 size reel, loaded up with 20 to 40 pound braid, and then the leader 40 to 60 pounds of fluorocarbon or monofilament will get you out of trouble in most cases. There's a bucket load of lures you can use to chase wild barra these days, but let's keep it really simple and break it into 2 broad groups in the way of plastic sinking lures and bibbed hard-bodied lures that float or suspend. Now, the paddle tail soft plastics have taken the market by storm several years back. Our lipless crankbaits or sinking vibes. We then come to another sinking lure, which is our prawn imitation baits. We've got the TPE 3D shrimp from Savage. We've also got the Xeric shrimps and cherubins. Then we've also got our hard-bodied bib lures that form suspending and floating models. That broad grouping of lures there in your tackle box will allow you to fish so many different situations on the barra. Let's go and have a look at how we use some of these. Hard-bodied bib lures have been around with the barra anglers for many, many years, but I believe these days they're just getting better and better by the day because of the look of them, the type of action they come with, things like the hooks, but very much the suspension, slow sink and very slow floating action that these lures come with. When it comes to working, there's so many different ways to do it, but let's start with a really easy retrieve that's going to catch your fish. Firstly, just get that lure right in close to the structure. Once it's in, give it a couple of quick jerks to get it down to depth, and then don't be shy about pausing it, and that pause needs to come in relatively close space to where you think the fish are going to be. It's no good pulling it halfway back to the boat and then pausing it. Get it into where the fish are, give it a couple of jerks, a couple of little vibrating wiggles, and then pause it. If you've got the attention of a fish that's come out of its structure to see what's going on, and then the lure pauses, that's so often when that bite comes. Oh yes! Oh! When it comes to fishing your imitation soft plastic prawns or your vibrating plastic baits, it's almost exactly the same retrieve. Cast it to the zone where you want to sink the lure into, and don't be shy to sink it right in under snags and down onto the ledges where you think the fish are going to be. Really important that you watch your line. You'll notice it's tight when the lure's sinking. As it hits the bottom, it'll slightly slacken off. And then don't work the lure too fast or too far. It's really just winding up a little bit of a shake of the rod with the reel handle and just wiggle that prawn up off the bottom. Hold your line tight, let it sink back further to the bottom again as it releases the tension off the line. Another little jiggle, and just make sure you keep that line tight throughout the retrieve because all the hits are going to happen as that lure's sinking to the bottom, and it's just a sharp tap on the rod.
Nice barra too.
Oh yes.
Keep your rod low.
Woo! Yes. Woo!
Lovely. My favourite time of the year to catch big barra is October. When the water starts to warm up, the fish become a lot more active. Keeping in mind there are closed seasons, and you always have to keep an eye on changing regulations. The reason I love chasing wild barra is not 2 days do they feed the same. They're a very challenging fish, very moody. You can just never predict what they're going to do. So the challenge isn't just in finding the fish, but it's also in making the fish feed.